Alex, I'm too afraid to start my YouTube channel in 2025.
That's Earth. That's where all of us live. So if you're really worried about what other monkeys are gonna say about you on camera, just remember that they're gonna die. And so are you. And in 100 years, it won't matter because social media won't even be here.
You don't have better advice, Alex?
Give up now.
No, for real, I'm ready to start. Like, just tell me the first thing out of the 18 things you would do if you start a new channel as a beginner.
A lot of people don't know this, but the highest leverage thing that I do with my time is I make are actually the life source of everything.
More about your data-driven way to find the best hooks later in the video. But what is even more important than the hook if we start a new channel?
And if you're gonna obsess about something, these are the two things I would obsess on. Number one is the thumbnail.
Okay, so which out of these 3 thumbnail styles should I avoid?
And if it's me with a whiteboard, then now we haven't nailed the whiteboard one yet. Like we get killed on CTRs on that.
Interesting, so this whiteboard variant has a low click-through rate, but which one gets a high click-through rate?
I know that the me with a quote card works.
That's great. Does your team have a template for this one?
1000%. You really only need a handful of kind of templates that work. It's like, okay, if I'm just doing a direct to camera thing, then it's like usually me with a quote tends to do okay. So that works there.
Great. That's why I created this Photoshop template. What do you think, Alex?
I 100% believe that templates are a good solution.
Awesome. What should I do with it?
Give away everything.
For how much?
Absolutely free.
All right, let's do it. Link below to download these thumbnail templates for free. But Alex, what else have you learned about your thumbnails?
The difference between these two thumbnails is going from vague to clear. What is the video on the left about? You'd probably be like, a rule of some sort that might have to do with money. Not sure. What's the video on the right? The yellow background video. A map or a blueprint or schematics of some sort that go from 0 to 1,000,000. The one on the right is exactly that. The one on the left actually has nothing to do with what that thumbnail looks like. So we're going from vague to clear in both what it looks like, the thumbnails, and what we say about it, the headlines.
Yeah, more about titles soon. But first, what is the second most important thing that I should obsess on when starting a new channel?
You need to obsess about your first 30 seconds.
Okay then, so how do I create a high retention intro?
In entertainment, it's say the title again and then literally show them what was on the thumbnail. In education, it's show them that you can do what you promised them in the thumbnail.
Okay, so in my intro, I can repeat the title and show a frame of the thumbnail or something similar. But what about the other part you mentioned?
If you say, hey, we're gonna crush a Lamborghini, they go and it's a talking head, there's no Lamborghini, they're like, screw this, and they're out. I think the Lamborghini in our situation is proof. The big Vegas lights of why should I listen to you?
Proof. So I have done over $5 million. Is that a good example of proof that I should say in my intro?
I know there's some guys on here who are doing billions a year, so fine.
Come on, Alex. $5 million is not nothing.
Okay.
Be honest.
I actually made over $5 million in revenue. I hired 50 people. I have another channel with 7,000 subscribers.
It's okay. It's fine.
Thank you. But don't you think that people would stop watching when I show all of that?
Well, aren't people gonna get sick of this? You're gonna keep saying your name every time or keep introducing yourself? Well, from what I can tell, warm people like the reminders and cold people need the introduction.
Well, I'm not sure if every person would like the reminder, especially the frequency. But what else can I do to improve my intros?
You can just get to the point faster and say as much as you can with as few words as you can.
Yeah, but how do I practically do that?
This video right here, we did 8 different takes of the intro where I slowly worked from 30 seconds down to 8. And then that's what became the intro that you saw before seeing this moment right now.
So you re-record your intros and you film the intro at the end, like Ali Abdul.
So this is a practical tip. If you struggle with hooks, if you find yourself overthinking them, you can try filming them at the end of the video session.
So, but very practically, for beginners, what do good intros consist of?
Fundamentally, if you have each video that you outline with what is the promise for this person, right? What is the proof that I can deliver on that promise? And then what's the plan that I'm going to walk them through? And you want to get all that done in like 8 seconds if it's a long.
Proof, promise, plan in 8 seconds. Like this example from Imangazzi.
The more you're cognizant, the more that you're cognizant and you're aware of, the more
Alex, give me a good YouTube intro example.
Hey, I sold my company for $46.2 million. A big part of that was that we had a guarantee that beat all of our competitors. And so we did 4 things that we used that made our guarantee stronger. Done.
All right, so great hooks, show proof, repeat the title, and show the thumbnail or a similar frame image in the first seconds. But what about the headlines, the YouTube title?
From a headlines perspective, if I were to remake these today, I might try a first crack at business influencer crushes haters and shows how you can too. Okay, so now if I'm clicking, I would understand at least that this guy is a business influencer of some sort and he crushes haters. Okay, well, I might want to see haters get crushed. Day in the life of $200 million per year CEO. Okay, now the jet tells me that this Alex Hormozi from the first one before, Alex Hormozi is maybe rich or maybe he can afford a private jet, but now I know he's a CEO because I could be a rapper.
You could be a rapper.
Whoa. The point is that we actually make it welcoming to everyone. right? And here's why this matters. If you want your content to bring people who don't know you, which is why many of you guys make content, then you can't assume they do.
So then you don't mentally talk to subscribers when you're recording your videos, but instead to strangers that find you on the homepage for the first time?
80% of my traffic comes from the suggested or browse features.
So talk to a stranger, because when you go viral, most of them are.
I'm gonna lose retention if I introduce myself. Okay, well, let's play the equal opposite. Would you rather fewer people know who you are or more people who have no clue?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
What about retention, Alex?
Our average view duration is over 8.5 minutes.
Very interesting. What is your secret?
My favorite driver of retention is curiosity.
All right, so then how do you make the viewer curious?
My favorite way to get the audience curious is to embed questions in their mind.
Ah, embed questions. Do you have an example of an embedded question that makes me curious?
My editor made me do 19 drafts of this book. Here's what I did to him. Ha.
Now I want to know what you did to him, Alex. You made him poop?
Pooping is very important. We all need to do it.
What else is important on YouTube, Alex?
You don't build an audience to get views. You get views to build an audience.
You don't build an audience to get views. You get views to build an audience. What do you mean with that?
I never wanted to make content for years for a variety of reasons. One is I didn't want to be famous, but the second reason was because it felt like a waste of time. I was like, I have to make content every month. It's just like disappears into the ether, goes into the newsfeed. After it's ever 7 days old, no one sees it again. What a waste. But what I didn't realize was that media is a compounding asset, not because of the media itself, but because of the audience that gets built. And so the audience is the output of the media.
Yeah, as I like to say it, content fades and audience stays unless you lose subscribers.
The first rule of investing for Warren Buffett is don't lose money. The second rule is don't forget the first rule. And fundamentally what he means is just don't make the number go down. When you have a hole in the bucket, it just makes for so much more work just to stay the same. And so it makes more sense to fix the hole in the bucket when things are smaller, when you have fewer variables to consider, so that then when you pour more on the top, it just grows that much faster, rather than having the rate of pouring be the way that you grow, because then the only thing you can do to grow is pour faster or pour more. And that gets really tough.
Yeah, I've experienced it myself in my business. But is that why you didn't run YouTube ads for a long time?
If you have a YouTube channel and you want to grow your YouTube channel, you could, of course, run ads to your YouTube channel to grow it. But why? If you can't retain the people who are watching your YouTube videos, why get more people to watch your bad YouTube videos?
Okay then, so what is the alternative?
We want to make content so good, people feel obligated to share.
Okay, but why would someone watching this video share it to their friends? Like, what is the reason? Why would someone do that?
Level one is this is good enough for me to come back and listen to something else. Level two is I want 5 people I know to hear this message so that I don't have to tell them. So me sharing this saves me the time of having to share this message with them. And I think their lives would be better off. And I get social status from making the share because I've made their lives better, and they'll associate that value with me. And so basically it's like you doing this work for somebody else so that they can gain benefit without working. So we basically give them a shortcut to social capital by making the gift that they can give somebody else without putting the time in. And so I think that is the very nature of value creation within an audience and how audiences compound.
Well, I disagree somewhat there. I believe the algorithm plays a big role and shares are just a tiny part of your audience compounding. But now tell me, how do you actually make videos that people share?
Instead of trying to make good content, try and solve problems for your avatar.
But what if I get less views doing that?
In the beginning, it feels like they're all faceless, nameless people, but like they're real people. And like if you see them in public, it's very confirming, but I promise you they're real on the other side of this. And so you just have to imagine. And then when I started my YouTube channel, I started at 0 too, like not that long ago, without really a brand. I had accomplishments, but I didn't have a brand. I just imagined what I used to do when I would try and get 25 people into a room when I sold weight loss. It was like a week or two of work to do that. And so the idea that I could do that for free, I was like, I'm cool with this.
But Alex, I really don't like 25 views.
Toss out the vanity metrics because they do not matter.
So you don't care about views anymore?
Views, and that was the only metric we had. But we had to have something to counter it, because otherwise then you get views for views' sake. But we needed a quality metric with a quantity metric.
So what do you use now?
That's why we switched from views being the metric that we're optimizing for to ad revenue.
Why?
Here's why. Ad revenue takes into account views, but it has a second metric that's paired with it, which is RPMs, which is revenue per 1,000 eyeballs. So if YouTube pays lots of money for the eyeball, then it means they're more valuable. And if they're more valuable to the advertiser, they're more valuable to me.
Okay, but beginners are not monetized yet. So tell me about your second metric that I've never heard someone talking about that one.
I have a friend who says this as his way of measuring audience. He says, butts in motherfucking seats. He said, if you say you're showing up at one city, he said, who fucking shows up? Who gives a shit? And to me, that is the metric that I optimize towards.
All right, so real people actually like you for the things you stand for. But then what type of topics do you create in order to reach those people?
That's what we call one of zero content, which is something that only we can make. And so everybody here can make content that no one else can make by simply talking about the stuff that you've done that no one else has done.
One of zero content that only I can make. Like this example, where you look at your own calendar, look at what you did, learned, or found to be true, and then share that in your videos. By the way, Alex, I still wonder when the website comes live. Anyways, what else perspective do you have for me when it comes to the topics of the videos I create?
And so fundamentally, when you're making content, one of the easiest frames to use is how can I give someone time back? So people want to buy time at a bargain.
Indeed. So videos like this. But can you now share finally your secret from the beginning of this video, like your data-driven hook method, to know based on data which YouTube intros are likely to perform better before uploading the video?
And so I tweet about 5 times a day-ish. And the nice thing is that Twitter is a very forgiving platform. So it's just like stream of consciousness, and it takes notes. You don't have to pick videos or captions, or I like it because it's just thoughts. Like I love Twitter so much for that reason. And so I'll post this stuff and I'll be like, okay, those are the ones that people thought were interesting. And then the threads become long format and the shorts become short format.
Yeah, I love this data-driven approach, Alex. It's why I use this free tool to A/B test my bios. By the way, link below to my Google Sheet with more than 70 other free tools that I use in my business. And yes, it is for free. But Alex, when I finally make better intros, then what do I do next? Just make a lot more videos?
The bigger the creator, usually the less frequent they actually make videos. And it's because they realize just power laws exist, which is that if you spend 10 times more time on one video, it doesn't get 10 times the views. Sometimes you get 100 times the views.
So you are saying that investing 10 hours into one video may get me 10,000 views, whereas investing 100 hours into one video does not give me 100,000 views, but 1 million.
You create the quantity to figure out the quality. And so in the beginning, more people make lots of content, and then you start figuring out the stuff that works, and then you'll notice that they're like, oh man, well, we did spend more time on that video. Okay, well, if we're gonna keep making videos like that, I don't think we can make this money, but it's okay because you make it up on the fact that the total quality of that one, it gets shared more, people watch it longer. And I think Mr. B said this, but it was like, if you make 10 videos or you spend 10 times and you make that one video 20% better in terms of AVD or click-through rate, you don't get 10 times the views, you get 100 times the views. So you get a disproportionate return for quality.
Really, Alex? I just love the dopamine and satisfaction of uploading daily. Do I have to give that up?
YouTube is a quality platform. Like Jimmy posts what, 1 every 2 weeks?
But I feel like
To just make your YouTube videos better.
Okay, so what about investing in an expensive camera, microphone, and softbox setup?
That really shitty one did better than my really fancy one, which then taught me that what's inside the content matters more than the wrapper. So for anybody who's like worried about getting started, about making it look right, I don't think it matters. I mean, I think it matters a little bit, but it's 80-20, so focus on the 80.
I don't fully agree there, Alex. It's what you have found to be true in your position. Obviously, people are more willing to listen to you when you started on YouTube after making 50 million or 100 million while you are in your closet than someone who has very little material accomplishments filming in his closet. Anyways, let me ask you, what is your most underrated YouTube advice?
I would encourage you to just start, and then all you have to do is every month or every week, look back at the 3 videos you made the week before and just try and improve one thing. And if you just stick that, what happens is you create this checklist over time that becomes this Mondo checklist of what ultimately creates an exceptional video that performs.
Okay, so here are some of my YouTube analytics. How do I find the best thing to improve?
You drink in a ton of data, you get everything, and then you circle where are the commonalities.
Yes, get everything, spot the patterns, find the truth. But Alex, what do you think is the best way to actually make money from YouTube?
The people who best monetize an audience do percentage conversion times LTV. That's it. So what percentage of your audience do you convert, and what's the lifetime gross profit per customer? And that's it. That's the math. The person who makes the most money wins.
Okay, so in this example, you are saying I don't need 100,000 subscribers if I have a high conversion rate and or high LTV, lifetime value, and that it is probably easier to make the same amount of money with 1,000 subscribers rather than the 100,000. Do you know someone who does that?
I find it actually one of the most hopeful messages that I have seen in person in a very long time. And so people have, like, unless I have 100,000 followers, I'm not gonna be able to make money. Unless I have 200. The thing is that people seek the followers with the idea that the followers are gonna make them rich. The followers will make you famous. Understanding business will make you rich.
All right, so what are her results then?
$1 million in profit from less than 6,000 followers.
Well, I actually found her account and the 50 things that you can do too to make more money from less followers. Click here to watch the full video. Talk soon.